Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to What's Up Wednesdays, the professionals of the Roundtable, as always, brought to you by Healing Your Way. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, all the places. And as always, if you like the podcast, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share with all your friends, and leave us a comment. We love interacting with you. Today we are joined by...
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Danny Coyne from Healing Your Way.
Thank you so much for joining us. I love having you on. Today, we are talking about my favorite season. Maybe not about the season. We're talking about preparing your body for fall. And we don't mean buying a new sweater and maybe an infinity scarf. What are some of the key aspects that we should be keeping in mind throughout this podcast?
So, we are focusing on how to transition our body to change the rhythm of nature to coincide with the fall season or the autumn itself. So, our body needs to be in sync of preparing to be better, preventing cold, flu, and all this kind of thing.
Yeah. Why do we usually get sick when the weather starts to change?
Well, our body cannot keep up with the transition of the changes. The weather pattern changes. We call these are exopathogenic nature changes in cycle. If you go in from the fall, from the summer to the fall, meaning in autumn, there's a changes. The weather changes. Good example, like we go into autumn or fall. Now we are facing into we call the uh, metal in element. Metal responsible by the long and large intestine meridian. These are organ directly affected. So when you breathe in air, first thing it will hit your upper respiratory, right? Now it's a cold nature, cold invading your lung. We call that the defensive line of your immune system need to be protected. Cold become we call one of the exopathogenic that invading the bodies. That's why when cold take in place, you get sick so easily, like a common cold and flu and allergies. And it's also this time of year, it's a dry season. Where weather changes, also the leaves start to uh, fall. So basically, a lot of wind and dryness of in nature.
Yeah. How do we stop ourselves from getting sick then? It sounds like it's unavoidable.
So basically, as long we say when you transition from summer to autumn or fall, what it does, there's a remnant of heat that carry on. Also to protect yourself, we call cleanse yourself from heat toxin, so it doesn't add on with the cold. If a heat and cold invade, it can create more problem. So first thing you should be seeing is an acupuncturist. That would be ideally prep you for the entire preparation, boost the immune system, take some herbs and all this kind of things. But first thing I always say is to strengthen the lungs. The lung is one of the organ that we are responsible for breathing in air, all this thing. So the energy itself is just we need to boost that, to strengthening, to prevent that by tapping into strengthening the lung meridian itself or the organ itself. And the next thing is by boosting the immune system. We call the superficial of your layer, we call this is defensive layer of your body. If cold penetrates your skin, that your defensive energy is no longer as strong. In Oriental medicine or TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, we call it Wei Qi. That when the defensive energy that is protect the body from external pathogen, which is cold in the fall. And then this, like I said, acupuncture would be the ideal things to do, plus herbs.
What kind of herbs? Like teas?
There's a specific herb that we use, Chinese herbal prescription. One popular formula called jade windscreen. In herbal Chinese medicine, we call it Yu Ping Feng San. So that's, just remember, jade windscreen is the ideal. But you have to go to proper um, TCM doctor or practitioner that do have a proper herbal prescription training to assess better. Sometimes one prescription cannot fit all, so it might need modification depend on the pattern of the condition or a person facing with. But definitely, jade windscreen will protect the body uh, at some point, somewhat, somehow, to prevent this. Um, Anything else that another thing I'm gonna focus moving on along, right?
Yeah.
Remember, this type of season, I mean autumn, it belong to long and large intestine. Its base element is metal. It's also in term of emotional aspect. We call it the grief and letting go. Uh, we tend to adapt to grief more than in this type of a time of the year more than ever. So keeping in mind that to let go of your grief, not consume, not letting it consume you. Think of it, just let it go. Imagine just like a fall season. Fall season, the tree that not evergreen, the deciduous tree. Usually, when in the fall, the leaves start to fall off the tree, right? Thinking of it just like that, letting the grief go, not consuming it, just like the tree letting the leaf fall off itself. So it's no matter what, there's a new season kick in. We let that grief, do not consume it. That will affect a lot of our mental. It create that sadness. Grief and sadness go together. Okay, and yeah, focusing on that will be super beneficial. And also focusing on or adapting to diet to the season. Focusing on warm food, cooked food, not like raw food. Like avoid raw. Even vegetables also can be cooked. Soup, stew, roots vegetable that seem to enhance that, and avoid cold raw food, too much dairy, ice cream. One good example, not this is not the time to pop ice cream in your system because be mindful it's cold and it can affect the large intestine itself.
So
Uh,
we're doing the opposite of the weather.
yes, which also can produce a lot of phlegm because it's phlegm can be stagnate when it's cold, right? And moistening foods like pear, honey, sesame seed, almond, those are will counteract dryness. That's moisten the internal organs much better, especially sesame seed. Pear is good example. Just eat it. That's really good for prevent. We call pear and apricot. You can actually cut up a pear, put a apricot seed, and steam it. This also to combat like early cough and cold type of symptom. Uh, just eat pear. Just help moisten the lung itself.
As
And
well
another
as the
thing is
pears.
regulate the. I'm going to continue and then we'll discuss some more. So another thing we would be regulating bowel health, which is um, maintaining the elimination part of the bowel movement, right? Fiber-rich food, hydration, digestive food with acupuncture, part of the treatment. I will say acupuncture definitely will super benefit in the that department. And yeah, beside that, we focus on early bad time because remember it's tradition. The weather changing, also the time of the sun switching, also to adjust the timing to sleep a little bit earlier according to the circadian of the of the sun cycle changes. So we say back in the day, traditionally, a lot of folks doing farming, they usually get out when the sun rise. As soon the sun rise, they out there farming already. But as soon the sun start to break in, they come back home in time. So supper, pretty much like an hour or two before they go to sleep. We have to adapt it to that environment just as for good health. And this is the time of the season that you don't exercise aggressively. So you don't want to dryness and cold invading your body system. That's weakening it. Gentle exercise, good example, Tai Chi, Qigong, or walking in nature, just consume that fresh, cold air. And practice letting go. Letting, just like I said, I mentioned earlier about letting thing goes because the transition into the fall where leaves fall off, whatever the emotional stuck, you just sadness, specifically sadness and grief, have to let go. Otherwise, it will consume us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything else that you?
Well, we do have a question from the chat.
Yes.
They want to know if juice is just as good as eating the fruit.
Juice actually depend on what you have in the juice. So juicing, we like I said, if you add something like pear mixed with almond with sesame, those are really powerful counteract of dryness. Juicing sometimes it can create problem for your large intestine. This time of year, people tend to have more bloating and dry throat. If you don't believe me, check around, see a lot of people like, oh, I don't know what it is. It's more what's happening in the gut system. So it's part of that cold invading our center. So our gut system does not know how to move it. Where large intestine is one of the we call expending or releasing, right? If it's not working correctly, create a lot of gases.
And we have somebody else wants to know if hot showers are helpful.
Oh yeah, hot shower definitely super. Going from a cooler weather, getting in the house. That's the best way to break up. Remember, cold invading the body. It called the way we look at how the cold it contracts and can moving inward. That means when the cold bind to the skin, our body is a lot tighter, right? If there's a pain, if you're suffering from arthritis, cold can be exacerbated. Someone having issue with Raynaud's type of condition with cold hand, cold feet, with turn purplish, the best way to do is hot shower. So that's a good remedy for this type of weather.
And you mentioned a lot about like grief and the leaves falling and letting go. Can acupuncture actually help with releasing emotions or even just like helping with mental clarity?
Actually, yes, acupuncture we call. Remember, the keyword for acupuncture is help uh, control specifically the central nervous system. All the time, acupuncture will calm the mind, relaxes the body. Not only that, is that practice mindfulness, journaling the what the grief is all about, what the sadness is all about, and meditation also can be. But definitely, acupuncture will help you tremendously.
And we know
Yeah,
if
it
you
can put people to sleep in no time. So
yeah. And sleep heals. Sleep is
yes,
very healing.
yes,
Um,
sleep rejuvenating.
mhm.
So you wake up if you just to sleep in, just to take a nap during the acupuncture session. Within that 15-minute to 20-minute, you you really woke up rejuvenated. It just more well balanced, and then into the night you fall asleep even better that night.
Yeah.
So and wake up refreshed the next morning. Who
Let's
did
also
who
not
who doesn't
forget,
want that?
what doctor's appointment do you get to go to where you get to take a nap?
Not many places. Maybe he's
Just
getting
Mr.
a
Pro.
massage.
Mm-hmm.
Massage maybe. Yes. Oh, Traeger.
Traeger.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not very common. Not when you're going in for a flu shot. You've got to stay awake for that one.
Yes, that's for sure.
And I,
Ideally, a lot of people coming in for this time of year is for this type of issue, like flu-related issue. Unfortunately, now that since the COVID transition, a lot of folks preferably not supposed to come in, but
yeah.
defeat the purpose. Traditionally, that's when you need the doctor the most, right? You
Mm-hmm.
would have common cold and flu, all this kind of symptom. But ideally, that's the best way to approach it, to treat it. Unfortunately, the protocol changed a little bit.
Yeah. Is there any workaround to it, or are you just kind of at the mercy of?
Oh, well, at least as long they tested, within a few days. Usually common cold take about 5 days, 4 to 5 days. The most is 6 day. But sometime when you get sick, that's the time when either apply gua sha, it's a scraping technique, or cupping. Most of the time, gua sha, we talk when the disease is still at the skin level or the Weiqi level or the defensive layer level. Uh, you can do a generalized acupuncture focusing on dispersing what invading the body. But the other option is by doing gua sha. Gua sha
Mhm.
is a powerful technique to disperse any type of onset of common cold. Could be wind, could be heat, could be cold itself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I know in some cultures, I might be correct. It's either the chest or the back. They'll like rub a coin
Yes.
up and down.
That is the gua sha. Scraping using the coin to disperse. We call break petechiae when the body turn red, depend on how deep red it is. If someone the condition is if the disease is penetrated deep into certain level of the body, it changes because from the skin is easy to treat, but when it went into or if it has gone into the muscle layer, different pattern, and they go into organ level and bone level. Those are the four stages of disease. It has to be purged out correctly. But it's
Mm.
easy to treat someone who just got a common cold or something like that. Within that 12 hour, 24 hour, within 12 hour, it's still on the skin level, but it changed really quick. It we call wind heat, wind cold, penetrate to wind. I mean wind to wind cold penetrates really quick to heat. When it's heat, it's a muscle layer. When you do the scraping, you will see deep red. But if it's still at the skin level, you see the redness and then disappear. That means whether you're gonna have it or not depend on that first initial layer of the color of the scraping.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I might butcher this one, so please bear with me. Um, is echinacea good to take?
Echinacea.
Echinacea. That's
Echinacea,
big
yes, it's very
daily.
good for the boost of immune system. It's really this is the time of the year that you should take it. There's another herb called banlanken. It's an herb that when there is if you go to supermarket, they call it pan lankan. So it's in Oriental herbal section area. Usually this time of year, it flies off the shelf a lot faster because that
Mm.
they use it to prevent that common cold, just to keep that immune system at bay. Echinacea, one of the best herb when you catch a cold that you can use that as well, or take it as regularly just to keep the upper respiratory strong.
Yeah. Is that similar to like elderberry?
No,
No.
no.
Okay. Ignore
Aloe
my.
berry, when we use it for prevent sore throat and all that, it depends on how you practice it too. So
Mhm.
it's still regulating the immune system. Yeah.
And then, do you agree with getting vaccines for the flu?
So, see, I'm bipartisan of that category. So, my background as a scientist also. So, I see at someone who already experiencing using vaccination for common cold and flu, all this thing, right? If you have taken it, that's been beneficial. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you if you haven't had it and you never had any issue, what's the point of doing that? You keep doing what you keeping yourself from having all those taking another shot, right? So it's bipartisan of whichever direction you like. I'm okay with that. So
Absolutely. And then I think this is, what do you do in your home as the first response to getting the cold or flu?
if what would I approach for if I if someone in my house getting sick, right?
So
First line, yeah.
I was going to say, let's do one for when you get sick and then one when somebody that you live with to protect yourself.
So the first thing I would ask my family to give me a guacha. So another thing is remember mint. Mint tea would be the best. It help because disperse uh, cold. It's how somehow warm up your body. I like three things here: lemon, honey, and ginger, and you can spice with mint. That's definitely keep your body immune system strong. That's definitely a go-to. It's a warm, right? The first thing is to keep your body warm up so disperse the cold.
Mm.
And of course, second would be guacha. Guacha, I like it's all the way. So no matter what, if someone at home sick, first thing I depend on what type of sickness, especially this time of year, nobody changed that pattern that much. So immediately, guacha is the go-to for me.
Gua sha. And when you say the
Guacha,
mint tea,
yeah.
are you buying like mint tea bags, or are you doing like ginger tea bags,
Or
green
you can
tea?
throw just a fresh mint tea bag is fine. Uh, Usually, you can prep your honey, lemon, and ginger yourself, or you can buy it already prep in
Mm.
a jar. You just take a tablespoon and just mix with hot water and drink like that. So yeah, traditionally, a lot of folks they say, "Oh, take a teaspoon of honey to local honey uh, every morning will keep your immune system strong."
Yeah.
So that's definitely a way to go as well.
Yeah. So there is fact behind that.
Yeah, yeah, because a local honey collecting all the pollen, everything that in the area. So our body tend to be affected by those pollen, right? The allergen, where we think of it being collected by bee.
Mhm.
Those bee connect all those honey from what? From plant flower, right? So that pollen create that prevent you having allergy because you dosing yourself with that allergen, so immune system gets stronger because based on that local type of allergen.
Yeah. And then this one, I'm not sure if there's a right or a wrong answer,
Okay.
but we're definitely going into the time of year where you wake up and it's frigid, and then you go out for your lunch break and it's hot.
Okay.
Are we doing more harm than good if we dress for the warmer weather or if we dress for the colder weather?
So first, no matter what, you should dress for the cold weather.
Mm.
Running is one of cofactor. Why do you want to run? To warm your body up, right? So you break the sweat. Sometime if you sweat, you take off your long sleeve or whatever, that cold gonna penetrate back onto the body and then catch a cold a lot quicker. That's why when you break a sweat, you have a sweatshirt, whatever, keep it there. Come home and change it. But while sweating is a good thing, you disperse any toxin that trap in your body. For instance, the best solution after gua sha is to wrap with a blanket or whatever. You break
Mhm.
when the sweat is broken, you actually feel better right away. The same concept. You dress for the cold to run, but there is such clothes as a that really good for thermal regulated, like a sport player. They have these special clothing on that control were breathable. If it's too hot, it changes. If it's too cold, it changes. Also, keep your body temperature at a good uh, temperature. So yeah, look into something like that to dress properly.
Just getting all the fashion info going on.
Yes, yes.
Um, what type of exercise do you recommend for this time of year, and why do you say to exercise less?
So the thing is, when you break into a sweat, you easily, like I said again, when you break into a sweat, you exercise aggressively. Your body prone to invade by the cold, right? So exercise not too much of a break of sweat unless you exercise in an environment that close. So qigong, uh, tai chi, just general walk in nature. That is much more. You still get the cardio done, but at the same time, remember harmonize your body into the cold. Right? It's not the idea of break yourself into the cold.
Mhm.
So you jump into a cold water, you you have to understand why you jump into cold water. You can't just some people practice like a cold plunge, right? Everything cold plunge, and suddenly I can if someone practiced the wrong modality, tend to show it in their face, in their bodies. So I've seen it. Don't break into the cold, harmonize your body into it, and then come out that way. When your immune system is stronger, can change with that environment, then you do what you need to do.
Mhm.
But
Is
you need to harmonize into it.
is that more so geared towards like outdoor exercising, or does that go for working out in the gym as
Even
well?
working out in the gym itself, gym sometimes can be cold, right? Usually they keep it cooler, so because for people exercise, uh, practically that's why uh, you have to understand when to do it. Consult a specialist or someone like me so I can help.
Absolutely. And then I think somebody's looking for a little bit more, I guess, more of a list or more of an idea of the foods that they should avoid. I know you said like avoid raw foods. I should probably avoid iced coffee.
Yes, that's for sure. Still cold, right? This time
Yeah.
of year, I think something like room temperature, if you don't like warm, but at least or cool, don't have to be super cold.
Mhm.
And if you exercise, one good thing is that to be mindful is that when you exercise, you break into a sweat, right? If you imagine you drink cold water to cool your body, right? What's the point of exercise? Exercise is to increase your metabolism so your it can burn the fat, right? If you drink warm water, actually much more benefit. Your fat burning is continuous, but if you immediately drink cold, your body back to original state.
Mhm.
No longer metabolized, nothing changes. So ideally, you're supposed to drink room temperature or warm water to continue. Even you stop exercise, the next 5 to 10 minutes, you still break the sweat, right? That's the best exercise. So you want to lose weight? That's one good example.
And I'm not sure. Um, is chicken noodle soup actually good for you?
Yes, chicken noodle soup actually very best for this time of year is because somehow remember a lot of folks it's not mythical, it's a real thing. When people catch a cold, first thing they go for chicken noodle soup or chicken soup. It somehow it reverses the common cold right away. It has a specific nutrient that benefit for us. Remember, chicken. We say chicken usually produce. It's a uh, uh, warm bird. In term, if you uh, eat chicken, usually your body warming up much easier. It's but now eating chicken, almost you say uh, male chicken, rooster, they are much more warm blood. So if someone have broken into a skin rashes and all those psoriasis, anything skin disorder, if you eat chicken, you be mindful. If a male chicken, it can exacerbate the rashes or psoriasis flare up easier. But we don't know whether we eat hen or rooster.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, be mindful and think about that too.
Yeah.
That's
Realistic
another
gamble.
topic of the list here.
Then is it good to go to sleep in a cold room? Or I heard it's good to go to sleep in a cold room at night. Is that still good to do in the fall and winter?
So it's on based on how you want your body to cool down, right? So usually cool room tend to put you to sleep at a better state, you restfully. But in direct wind, cold wind, definitely the best. If direct cold push on you, you easily can causing a lot of issue, like a
Mhm.
common cold, wake up with Bell's palsy. Like we call these wind cold invading the channel. A lot of folks with Bell's palsy, like a facial paralysis, tend to be sleep directly under the cold wind, like opening windows and all those kind of things. It's not a good thing. That's why, preferably, if you have a fan, direct the fan to the wall, get that draft the kick back on. So that's a little bit more. We change from cooling air to cooler air. So this way it doesn't affect our body easily.
Yeah. And then they had a part two to that question. Is using a heating pad when sleeping during the colder months okay?
Okay, this is something that I told my patient that to be mindful. Heating pad is a something that you use temporarily and let it go. You don't rely on the machinery of the heating pad itself, the warm air. You want your body to be able to produce that warm, balance the yin and yang of your body. We call regulate the heat temperature for the body. You need a heating pad when you're suffering from pain, joint pain, whatever. You can have it for an hour and let it not throughout the night.
Mm.
What happened? Imagine you put a steak on the grill, right? Watch how if you don't take the steak out, you grill it. What will happen?
Burn.
Steak has become a big steak, right? Become thinner and thinner. All the everything drip, fat, juice. It's dying. What left over? It's just a crusty, uh, burned steak. So our bodies sometimes think about that. If you use it over and over, usually people that use a prolonged heating pad, the body tend to be very emaciated, very thin, like almost skin and bone. And they tend to be when they don't have enough fat. When they do that, they will create more problem. I always say that one of my professor treating somebody, talking about someone so severely um, in pain, but he using heating pad, the entire body just like very thick, right? Treating with acupuncture can be hard to recover. So something like that is not to advise to overuse of the heating pad itself. No, people use heating blanket You know, imagine if you go out somewhere in the hotel, if you forgot your heating pad, what will happen? You cannot sleep because you miss your body already susceptible or recognize you need that heat, right? So
Mhm.
basically, you don't prep yourself to go that direction. It's a no-no for prolonged use.
Yeah, we're turning ourselves into lizards,
Yes.
like the heating pad. Um,
Yep.
what would you say are the top three issues that arise in the fall season in your clinic?
So usually like upper respiratory allergies, uh, sinus congestion, uh, cough, and digestive issue, bloating, indigestion.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
So,
acupuncture helps all of the things.
yes, acupuncture definitely. I don't want to say 100%. So if it's being treated and diagnosed correctly, you can actually super beneficial on that department, unless you are not responding to or believing in uh, the modality of the powerful acupuncture and Oriental medicine itself.
Mm.
Yeah.
I feel no matter how much water I drink in the winter, I'm dehydrated. Why is this?
So when you dehydrate, we call there's body must be consume a lot of heat changes depend on the when is your if you're getting close to sound like a women's body like going to late stage of the menopausal or early state of menopausal, that's your body changes in the estrogen, uh, we call hormone imbalances, right? Tend to heating up more, no matter what that. So focusing on balance the electrolyte, also treat to harmonize the hormone itself. It will reverse that. But you got to get a good oriental medicine doctor or acupuncturist to
Yeah,
help you with this.
absolutely. And if you're looking for recommendations for good electrolyte supplements, I know that the Figuring Out Friday guys
Yes.
actually did an episode where they covered a lot of that. They have good stuff over there. Um, so with the Oriental, sorry, Oriental medicine,
Yeah.
they can actually help with the feeling of dehydration and just balancing
Yes.
everything.
It's yes, depend on the pattern of the diagnosis and what the outcome of the pres- direction of the treatment plan, treatment principle, and then we can work up with the prescription based on that.
Mm.
Remember, we gear to it not just treating the symptom, we also focusing on the root cause of the condition. A lot of allopathic medicine, we basically treat the symptom, right? Oriental medicine, we focus on TCM, we focusing on not just the symptom, but get to the root of the situation. If we can tackle the root of it, then we pretty much save the life of a person. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I have for fall and winter sports like soccer and football, and I might even extend this out to hockey players who play
Mhm.
in an ice rink.
Yes.
What would you say for athletes to watch out for when training in the cold?
So the first thing is that to warm the body up, right? Like I always say, buy the clothing that to fit that uh, uh breathable. It control body temperature, whether cold or warm. It would be that's the first thing I would do. And remember, ice hockey is. I was working with the Flyer for. Well, I was consulting to the Flyer for Philadelphia Flyer for almost 15 years.
Mhm.
Uh, a lot of folks, all the player, they are cold all the time, and because they don't have a lot of fat, and but what they wear is the breathable type of material that help them keep warm. And some people use that heating pad, like a special heating pad, and doing the game. So, but definitely dress something that breathable type of clothing.
Mhm. Do you find that they get more injuries in the cold?
You got it. And remember when I said earlier that your body contracts when it contract, the nature of it moving inward, right? You need to push it out. So uh, when your body cold, it tightening, especially you get injured the beginning of the preseason. A lot of players tend to have issue doing training and preseason because your body is not warm enough. Body not getting used to the in exposure of out, so it unable to regulate correctly. So yes, it's easy. Athletes tend to get injured doing cold uh, type of condition if
Mhm.
they don't warm up enough.
Yeah. What kind of warm ups do you
So
recommend? Stagnant stretching, moving?
yeah, all those stretching, right? If we say some player they don't like to stretch as much because the explosiveness is not there. The overstretching can slow down the explosiveness. But smart way to play, explosive or not, yeah, when your body start warm up, you can be explosive. But definitely stretches to warm your body up, so to prevent almost like imagine icicle, right? Icicle is frozen. If you drop it, you're gonna shatter, right? But when it's melted, you cannot break the it's water, so no longer you can break it. It's just something like that. Almost like a good another example is if you soak a napkin, put in the refrigerator, right? You pop when it's frozen, you pretty much can break it, right? But uh, if you roll it, you it give you some resistance that it doesn't break like that. It
Mhm.
break unevenly. So
Yeah.
that means there's more strength when it's loosely, not frozen.
Mhm.
Our body is the same thing.
Yeah. And then in that same realm, is it also important at the end to
Mhm.
kind of stay a little bit warm so your body doesn't cool down too fast? I don't know if that's a real thing, but
It is the real things. Folks tend to be they tend to get sick, like feeling like almost like you go into like some sort of getting sick. Now your body is already weakened, energy low. If you keep it too cold so fast, you can get sick easily too.
see.
Warm transition into and then take hot shower and then that's the best way to do.
Yeah. See, and I never even actually thought about that, so I feel like I'm learning a lot today. Um, are injuries that happen like around this time, do you find that they last longer or do they heal like just about the same?
It lasts a lot longer. The injury is much more severe than the
Really?
yeah. That's why right. This folk will be done in if I would say week 9, week 10, sometime depend on what location of the body.
Mm,
Early injuries during practice tend to recover much faster because you give a lot of time, right? Doing season time sometimes can be depend on the course of the treatment or the modality that they approach that. It will help individually, not like everyone will respond the same way because depend on the type of injuries as well, right?
mm,
Mhm.
that's crazy. See, these are the things that I feel like need to be talked about more often. I mean, especially I feel like it's all too common that we just kind of drift through the year.
Yeah,
Um,
very true. We do things these days. We uh, in a time of where schedule is uh, dictate our direction. So that's we rush because we have to reach on to the next schedule, right? And work life is not really balanced these days. So we always forgot. We do things like zombie. By the time we made it there, we made it there. We're like asking yourself, like, how did I get here? So acupuncture definitely can harmonize that department, keep you present, keep you aware of what you do conscientiously and productively in workforce.
yeah. And how would you feel about doing like a little bit of a recap of the highlights? We kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent for a little bit with the questions that were coming through. So just to put everything back in the forefront.
So first thing is to focus on strengthening the lung organ itself to uh, to boost that immune system, to uh, harmonize it so it does not become sensitive to dryness and
Mm,
cold. Okay. The next thing is to strengthening the skin layer of the body. We call Wei Qi or the defensive Qi. Uh, that's that prevent the cold itself. By doing that, by boosting immune system or taking some herbs. Good herb is jadewin screen. Uh, One of the herbal prescription that I normally focusing on thinking how it can be super beneficial. Another thing is addressing emotional health. Keep the grief and sadness away from you. Trying to focus and recharge. Uh, Practice mindfulness, journaling, meditation, and that can be the best part of it. Remember, this time of year you tend to pull in grief because it belongs to the long and large intestinal meridian, grief and sadness. So no matter what, because cold, you feel lonely, right? When there's cold, there's always loneliness feeling, and you thought of changes, maybe someone who you haven't seen for a long time, or you past pattern of what situational thing that happened in life. We tend to consume this time of year to focus on grief and sadness. And lastly, keep in mind, keep that large intestine strong and healthy, and regulating that bowel health.
mm.
But to maintain the elimination part by eating rich fiber food, hydration, and digestive support with acupuncture
And pears.
and pear,
And pears. Don't forget pears.
honey, sesame seed, almond. I like those combination because it's a simple stuff that you can, because that eliminate dryness. Remember why I said that, because that is moistening, so prevent dryness, especially people like try and clear the throat. It doesn't go away, almost
Mm,
like a dryness but a little bit itchiness, all that. If you put the pear, it has that counteract. So
mm,
it's a simple recipe.
yeah, I might have to try that one out because it's definitely about to be that time of year in my
Yeah.
residence. So
Okay.
I'll keep
Okay.
you updated.
Yeah. Soon we'll use the heat. Heat will create more dryness.
Hmm.
So that, keep that in mind. It's not healthy for us in terms of that, especially dry heat, like a blowing heat.
Hmm. Like sitting by the heater or like the radiator,
The
stuff like that.
radiator would be the ideal heat to use.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like like the little fans that have like the heat setting that are going at you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the radiator heater is better than the blowing. That
Yeah.
is called dry heat, right?
Hmm.
So radiator basically water based heating up. So
Yeah. Is this a good time of year to bring out the humidifiers?
yes, to
Yeah.
to create moisture.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I feel prepared for fall. Do you?
Okay.
I feel prepared.
I've been trying, but I'm prepared.
Good. Good. And I mean, one of the important things too, because with fall we do have Halloween coming up where all the kids are going to be out and
Yeah.
about in their costumes.
Mm.
You might want to put this one on repeat a couple days before just to remind you, keep your kids protected, keep you
Yeah,
protected.
so basically, you can have them dress however the Halloween costume without throwing thick jacket on top. Basically, you just get them, like I said, thermoregulated type of inside, like a Under Armours or some sort of a clothing that they have that just to keep them warm so they can be easily catching a cold. So and but of course kids don't want to put anything on when you put the costume, right? But you
Of
put
course.
underneath buy a little bit looser costume just to keep the cold body insulated with thermal regulated kind of clothes.
Yeah. And I think this one might be our last question for the day, if that's okay. What about whitening of fingers due to circulation issues?
Whitening of the finger, we call this a Raynaud condition, where coal unable to surface to the capillary of the finger and toes, and this is a condition. Probably sometimes it can be genetic, sometimes can be overexposure to this type of issue when they were young. For instance, someone loved to play outside without wearing glove or in the cold, in the snow. Yes, at that time it's fine. Or someone who loves skiing, sometimes they just leave. As we get older, our pattern change, right? Our body cannot, the blood cannot flow throughout the finger and toes. It creates that whiteness when there's a cold outside. So keeping glove on, walking outside, even holding the steering, your finger can turn. If you have already had that issue, steering wheel can be nice and cool, right? You can see your fingers start to turn white because it's the steering wheel is cold. So keep in mind, warm up the car first, and then if you have the steering wheel warmer, turn that on to prevent that. Soaking in Epsom salt frequently actually super beneficial. Promote that circulation to come back, but you have to do consistently, not just one day and then soak one time and say, "Oh, I did it, but it didn't work." It takes some time for our capillary to open up. So Epsom salt has a magnesium sulfate, also magnesium known to relax the muscle and capillary. At the same time, also help enrich the nerve uh, connection.
Awesome.
So
Perfect. Well, we covered a lot of things. It's coming up fast, and I'm happy that we're prepared for it. Thank you
yes,
so much, Dr. Danny, for
thank
joining
you
us.
so
I
much
always
for having me.
always. And as usual, this is What's Up Wednesday, brought to you by Healing Your Way. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. We are on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, and we'll see you next week, beautiful people.
Bye.